An inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello? Gee,
Hey Gary, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Everything's good. I got my family, my health, and what more can I ask for?
Amen. Amen to that, bro. Glad to hear that.
How are you doing in there?
I'm doing great. Everything's going good, man. You know, the Lord is blessed with another day. And, I'm just taking it one day at a time still, pushing, doing the right thing, keeping my head above water.
That's always good to hear, and I like your attitude. You always have a positive attitude. When I speak to you, even though the circumstances you're under right now, and definitely,
Yeah,
I'll always looking forward to getting that good vibe from you.
absolutely, man. Thank you for having me back, man, for welcoming me back again. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, I think you have
Yeah,
a story, and you could definitely benefit at least one person out there. And as long as we're able to help somebody, then all of this it's definitely worth it.
absolutely, absolutely, man.
So today, I wanted to bring you on, and I wanted to go ahead and speak about health in prison, and also using illegal substances in prison. I'm pretty sure those two things, they go hand in hand. I mean, as the prison population gets older and whatnot, I'm sure a lot of people are having health issues, and then adding in, drugs on top of that adds a curveball to everybody's health, and brings a bunch of other, health issues that go hand in hand with using drugs in prison.
No, no, absolutely, man. Those are two great topics to discuss. And as a matter of fact, that's my job in here. I'm ADA porter. I help out people in wheelchairs who need assistance. With their mobility, with their hearing, with anything they may need, to appointments to and from the building, and that's what I do on a daily basis. So, this ain't the first time that I've done that. So I've done it before years ago in other prisons. So I've seen firsthand the effects, prison can have on people with growing old in here, and mixing it in with alcohol and drug use. Yeah, it doesn't help out.
What kind of health issues are common ones that you notice with people using drugs in prison, or even drinking Pruno?
Hepatitis C. Hepatitis C. Very rapid in the prison system. You can get it with using drugs, tattooing, anything like that has to do with the needle. Like that was big. Over the years, hepatitis C was really huge. Um, yes, there's people with AIDS, but the AIDS really didn't explode as much as hepatitis C did. That was the big thing. When I first came in, and still now. And just everybody sharing needles. To inject drugs, to get tattoos, and hepatitis C, man. Guys who don't use drugs but get tattoos in here end up attracting hepatitis C. And vice versa. People who don't get tattoos but they use drugs, they get hepatitis C. Hep C is one of the big things in here.
How much of the prison population do you think is affected by hepatitis C?
Ooh, more than half, I would estimate. By that, more than half. You know, more than half, and it doesn't help out. If you do have Hep C and you're drinking this homemade manufactured alcohol in prison, which we call Pruno or White Lightning, it doesn't help out. By drinking that, it's attacking your liver. That's what Hep C is. It's a disease of the liver. and it attacks it. It doesn't help it out none at all. So I would have to say, ballpark, I'm just guessing here, but over half of the people, because man, mostly everybody, I've been down in prison 26 years, and no matter every prison I went to, I've met a lot of people with Hep C.
Once somebody contracts hepatitis C, how fast does their health start declining? In your
Not
opinion?
not right away. Not right away. You can go years. You can go years. People can go years without feeling the effects of Hep C. They can go years. But you got some, who it affects them right away. They attract jaundice. They start turning yellow, the skin, their eyes start to yellow, their liver starts to shut down. It affects people differently. Like in my case, I had hepatitis C for years, and I didn't even, I knew I had it, but I never checked for it until, was it around 2018, when I said, you know what? Because the last time I used myself was March 22nd, 2018, so I was like, you know what? They're giving people this treatment. They got this new treatment going on, and it's helping out with the Hep C. So I went and I tested, and I did have Hep C, and I don't know when I attracted it or how long ago I attracted it, but I did it. They said it was a type of Hep C, that medication they're offering. I can take that medication and I can combat it. I can get rid of it, so to speak, be cleared of it. And I went ahead and I did it. But before I did it, they did have a conversation with me saying, "Listen, this is a very expensive treatment. We're talking thousands of dollars that the state taxpayers are going to pay for this treatment. So we don't advise you, if you're going to take it, we'll give it to you, but if you're going to go back to using drugs again and getting tattoos and attracting hepatitis C again, it's not worth it." God forbid that, March 22nd, 2018 was the last time I ever used. Last time I got tattoos, I was like 19, so I'm not a big tattoo guy, so I'm not really worried about that. And I took it, and thank God, like a year and a half, 2 years later, they called me in, and I was, every 60 days, every 90 days, I was getting blood drawn, getting checkups, and they finally called me in one day and said, "Hey, your Hep C is not showing, you're cleared," and you're cleared. And I was like, okay, I don't got it. They're like, "No, we can't detect it in your body no more." So the medication worked, and I was grateful for that. So people, guys can go for years without even knowing. But there's one thing I did notice, right, on my end. Once I took the medication, and I don't know, for some reason, I just had more energy. I wasn't tired. I wasn't sluggish throughout the day anymore. And that's one thing I did notice with me. Once I took the medication and everything, it worked out for me. I wasn't sluggish or tired like I was
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
before I took the medication. So that's one thing I noticed. But I know guys who, who's saying, "I never tested, but I'm pretty sure I got it. A lot of inmates, including myself back in the day, used to just laugh it off, like, all right, no big deal. It's not going to kill me. It might not kill you right away, but eventually that Hep C is going to develop into liver cancer, cirrhosis of the liver. Your liver is going to start to shut down, and we all know we need our liver to survive. We can't live without our liver. That's what washes out all the toxins. That's what cleans out our system. And without a liver, man, we ain't going to be living.
Yeah, and right now I want to take a moment to go ahead and give a shout out or thank everybody that's coming in, because you're always definitely bringing in a lot of your family, and we do have a lot of your family in here right now. Definitely don't want to overlook that right now.
Absolutely.
So want to go ahead and give a shout out to Melissa. She's sending much love, Gary, with a little heart. We also have
my cousin.
we also have Marlene, and
Yeah, there you go. I'll hear it. If you don't get that correct, I'm gonna hear it.
Yeah, nah, she get on me again. So I don't want to upset her. But hey, you know what? My mind right here is still telling me to call her the other name. So, but it's a battle. It's a constant battle when I see her name.
Yeah.
So she put on here, sorry so late. I wasn't getting the messages on the GTO app. So if anybody has any loved ones right now, I know for like the last few days and whatnot, it's definitely been having some issues. So it's not that they're
Yeah,
not trying to get back
man.
to you. GTL is I guess they didn't pay the internet bill this month, so or they might be on the Obama
It's
plan. So
tripping. Yeah, it's tripping. GTI is tripping.
yeah.
I text somebody a hello and it's pending. Okay. Man, I don't know why, but it's pending. I just tell somebody hello, how you doing, and it's pending.
They gotta make sure you're not
Yeah,
sending any
GTI that.
coded messages right there.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of code you can put in a hello, but yeah, it's just tripping right now. GTL is tripping.
And then
Mm.
I want to go ahead and keep it going on this list, right? Because yeah, man, yeah, you definitely bring in those family
Yeah,
members. We also got Pomona Queen. She put Gary exclamation marks. She put Vivi and Susan are there listen to you
yeah.
speak and whatnot. So definitely, like I say, when it comes to you, you definitely got that family support. Coming in and showing that love.
Yeah,
So
definitely, man. Those are all my family right there. My family support, my cousins, my mom, my brother should be listening too. Everybody, friends too. I got friends out there who are very supportive of me, and I'm appreciative, man. I'm very thankful. I love you guys, man. Thank you.
that's right, Gary. And then we also can't forget about M Star Media sending salute. Also, Mad Max 408. He's
Yeah,
always, they're always definitely huge supporters. Been coming on for weeks or even months now at this point. So definitely I noticed that it doesn't go unnoticed. And Mad Max put on here,
hello.
good to see Gary again. So a lot of people they definitely like listening to you. So I'm glad you're always willing
Yeah,
to jump on short notice.
man. I appreciate everybody listening in, man. Thank you so very much. Hopefully, what I'm saying, man, you can pass it on to a loved one, a friend, anybody, man. Just open up their eyes, so to speak, man. Wake them up.
And then
You know.
we also have Sun God Luffy, and then who else? I can't see that. Hold on, let me see. So she put, "I'm here, Gary. We love and miss you, Summer."
Oh yeah, yeah. Family right there. All family, man. Uh,
So yeah, definitely. Like I say, your support system, at least when it comes to family and whatnot, they're definitely there. It doesn't go unnoticed.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
back to the
Yeah.
topic
So
on hand.
yeah,
So speaking about
yeah.
health and whatnot, how common is it right now with ODing and whatnot? And do they use Narcan to revive, to reverse or revive people? When they do
This
OD.
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They do, man. Man, I've witnessed a few ODs. I mean, I witnessed a few ODs over the years, especially when that fentanyl was starting to come out. I mean, yeah, that fentanyl ain't no joke, man. The last prison I was at, Calipat, man, and they were having multiple ODs. I mean, weekly, monthly. You know, we even had a little funeral services on the yard right before the pandemic because one of the guys over there OD'd off fentanyl and he passed away. So excuse me, we had a whole little funeral procession out there. We had speakers, people playing music, and just to bring awareness, to let everybody know, man, that this fentanyl, man, it's no joke. It's killing people. It's literally, I saw on the news a couple of days ago. It's poison. I wouldn't consider it a drug. It's poison because I mean, you touch poison, you die, and literally that's what's happening with people, not only in prison, but I mean, society as well, from state to state. It's just it's poison. Now you take one hit, you can take one pill, and you're dead. I mean, you're gone.
And what do you
I
and
mean, they use Narcan in here.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
oh man, she hit us with that 60
Hello?
seconds.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, we got a minute. Yeah.
go for it, go for it.
I got to call back. I got to call back. Let me call back.
All right, then, Gary. Thank
Hold
you,
on.
thank you.
Uh,
All right, so yeah, I see. You're right about that, Mad Max. Gary's definitely has a, it's very noticeable the family support that he does have, just by the people that are watching the stream. Normally when Gary comes on, the numbers definitely go up. So I'm pretty sure he does appreciate that. I'm sure if I was incarcerated and I had the type of support, I'll definitely appreciate my family showing me that type of support. And I don't think anybody that's been on this channel has had that as much as support as Gary has. So right now the call just went ahead and cut off. He should be calling us back shortly, and we'll go ahead and continue with the conversation, if you will, and definitely gonna get into it. So with Gary today, we'll probably be on till about 7:30. I am expecting a call from Silas after that time, so you guys are gonna be listening or hearing from Silas tonight. And tomorrow we have Ricky tuning in or calling in, and then we're also gonna have David, which David will be the newest our newest person on the podcast. So we're I would say we spoke about his juvenile experience, and we left off at right when he hit prison when he turned 18. So we're gonna continue with his story. Definitely tune in for that. And I'm currently working on bringing a few other people on, so switch it up and bring a variety of people in, not just um one type of person or group, if you will. So definitely trying to switch it up and whatnot. Yeah, that's yeah, Jesse Jesse's story it's yeah, it is definitely mind blowing. Um, just from normally when I start the interview, I ask everybody, what's their first childhood memory. Definitely mind blowing. And I'm going to pick up that call. Give me one moment.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Gary.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, Gary. Thank you for calling us back. And then I just want to go ahead and before we continue, I want to read off some of the messages here. So Melissa put that uh, Nina and Christy says to they're pretty much listening. So and they love you also. And Mad Max is put on here that uh, he notices that you do have a huge family support, and it says a lot that you have that kind of support after being in prison for decades. And he also put fentanyl is an epidemic. I just found out someone I know passed away from an OD. So yeah, it's definitely hitting the community um, really hard. So with that being said, I'll continue with the messages shortly, and we'll go ahead and continue with the conversation. Do you remember where we left off? Because she really messed up my train of thought right now. Once she announced that we were down to 60 seconds. Hello, Gary. Oh, I thought he was on already. Or you're talking to myself. It looks like it connected, but it didn't. I'm hang up. Hopefully he calls back. And I guess I have to read the messages back to him when he comes back, because or maybe you heard them. We just couldn't hear him. But yeah, but back to the comment that you put about Jesse's story. Yeah, it's definitely mind blowing. And I see the numbers are dropping, so I don't know if there's something wrong with the connection or. Wow, that's rough. That's rough. Your son passed away a couple of weeks after graduation. And was that recently? All right, and I apologize. We're waiting to we're waiting for Gary to call us back. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is.
This call is now
This
being
is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Gary.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for
You're
this
Sam's
call.
friend.
To accept this
Kinda
call,
rough.
say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Gary. I'm not sure if you could hear us or not, Gary, but I can't. I cannot hear you. Hello, Gary.
Oh yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hello?
is it your microphone that you're having some issues with over there, or is it the GTO system?
It's the whole system in GTL. It's tripping right now. It's going out on my end. It's kicking me out. Yeah, it's tripping right now.
Okay. All right.
There must be a storm coming. It seems like every time there's a storm happening, GTL starts tripping. Hello?
I think they didn't pay the bill. I think they didn't pay their internet bill.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello, Gary. I could hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, definitely.
hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
I mean, how long it's gonna last? I don't know. GTL, yeah, it's not some other, man. It'll from time to time it acts up like this. Why? Beyond me. Man.
Definitely a bummer, but yeah, no, like we could definitely
Yeah,
I hear you.
If it goes out again, man, because it literally continues this for a couple hours all night. So if it does it again, man, we could pick it up again tomorrow, same time, or we could do it earlier or what. But yeah, man, it's tripping.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, so yeah, if it does continue, we could definitely pick it up earlier. And
Yeah.
and honestly,
Cool.
I've been trying to do some earlier streams because I know a lot of people they tend to they tend to get on a lot they want to get on a lot earlier, so that'll be definitely a plus. Yeah, we could
No, absolutely.
if you're available a little bit earlier.
Absolutely.
So but yeah,
Yeah, so I apologize to everybody out there. My bad. The GTL tripping.
yeah, that's not us right there. That's all. I think they didn't pay the
Yeah.
internet bill, or they might be on the slow plan
Yeah,
on the slow plan.
Something's up. Something's up. All right.
But do you remember
All
where
right,
we
so,
left off before we got cut off by that 60-second mark?
Oh no, you were reading messages to me. That was it, about Melissa, and then it just went off. But yeah, we were discussing before I hung up was it was about we're talking about substance abuse, right? And we're talking about the use of Narcan. Is it Narcan or Narcan? What's the correct term?
I think it's
Narcan?
Narcan, but I mean, it everybody pronounces
Narcan?
things differently,
Yeah.
as you could tell with myself. So
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but they do have it, and I can honestly say it's been a lifesaver in here for a lot of those who have OD'd, and saved their lives. You know what I mean? So yeah, they do have it. You know what I mean? It is utilized in prison. But
And have you
that's a plus. That's a what happened?
have you seen them
Go
use
ahead.
utilize it on somebody to revive somebody, or how do they handle a situation like that if somebody
yeah.
passes out?
Okay, they'll go man down. The officers will call medical. Medical will rush over here, and you know what I mean. And if they'll start performing CPR. They'll start pumping on his chest, giving him the breath thing and all that, and then they'll use the one that's up the nose. The Narcan is up the nose, the can. So they'll just squirt it in their nose, and you know what I mean. I've seen them use 5 Narcans on one guy one time, and finally they brought him back. And so that's what they would do, and then they would call the ambulance in, put him on the ambulance, and send him to the hospital. Send him to the hospital, and then he'll be gone for 24 hours or maybe 72 hours for observation, and then he'll come right back. And, that's if he doesn't pass away. And if he passes away, then that's a whole different story.
And are there any repercussions from ODing? Do you get like a write up? Do you end up in the shoe or the hole or wherever they put you? to segregate you,
This
or do you just
call
come
and
back
your
and is it,
telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
do you just come back and it's business as
Before,
usual?
yeah, see, before the whole, this whole Suboxone program, this whole substance abuse programs came into prison. Oh, before it definitely was a write-up. It was, you get a 115, you lose privileges, you lose yard, things like that. But nowadays, since since they're finally seeing that addiction is a disease, so you don't get a write-up or nothing. There's no repercussions behind it. But they do offer you help. They do put you on a program if you want it. But ultimately, it's up to that individual's choice whether he wants to choose it or not. So yeah, you don't get in trouble no more. There's no more repercussions. You ain't gonna go to the hole. You're not gonna get a write-up or none of that. As before, oh yeah, they would toss your cell up, get a write-up. You go to the hole. They find drugs on you. It was a whole thing. But now, not so much, because the state's finally looking upon it that it is a disease. Addiction is a disease. People suffer from it.
And as far as yourself, how often do you participate in programs that the prison offers, as far as speaking about addiction and utilizing substances like that? Do you go there like weekly, or how often do you participate?
Oh man, I'm 5 days a week. Even 5 days a week. Well, actually, I'm gonna say 7 days a week because me and the guys, the guys I hang around with, we talk about the recovery program. We keep each other in check. Our accountability partners. So it's like 7 days a week. But as far as the state goes, I go on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7 to 9. I participate in the it's called DRP, Department Rehabilitation Program, and it deals with substance abuse, and it deals with a whole variety of things, but the one thing they do focus on is substance abuse. And I go to NA Tuesday night from 5:30 to like 7:30, and then I got prison fellowship. We also discuss, substance abuse and trauma and all that stuff, and anger management. So I'm constantly engaged in that. As a matter of fact, I just started on ARC right now as well. Great program, by the way. For a lot of you who don't know, the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, a lot of help for the inmates. They advocate for us hugely, and I started going there Wednesdays from 11:30 to 4, and it deals with everything, man. And so yeah, I like to stay engaged in 7 days a week.
And just to point out, because I think the general assumption when it comes to people that are not familiar with prison is that you just go to prison and you're just sitting around all day on the yard and whatnot. And I'm sure you could do that, but in your case, you're utilizing the programs that the prison is offering. So you're not wasting away, and you're helping others, and others are helping you. So definitely,
No, absolutely. And see, all these prisons, they didn't exist, I don't know, maybe 7-10 years ago. This whole rehabilitative and CDCR did it. We didn't have the R behind it for many years, especially when I first came into the system. For a lot of years, I sat around sitting idle, not doing nothing. Going to the SHU, spending like 5 years in the SHU, thinking that I was doing something, educating myself, going back there, reading fucking hundreds of books, and just reading, studying up, educating myself. They had church, but everybody went to church. It was another meeting. It was another meeting ground for criminals, so to speak. Nobody. Everybody who went to church. You didn't see them picking up a Bible. We didn't read the Bible. We didn't listen. We went there to talk, pass drugs, politics, all that other nonsense. So that's one thing that I am grateful for CDCR to start putting these rehabilitative programs in the mix, start putting them in the process, to start bringing them to the yards, man, and giving guys the opportunity to better themselves. And there's still a lot of guys who have that mindset, like, nah, I'm good. I'm getting out. I don't need that. I'm not a lifer. But it's not about being a lifer. It's not about that. Okay, you're getting out. That's great. But what are you going to do when you get out? You're going to get out the same person you came in? Then that person, you're just going to come right back to prison. It's just going to be a revolving door for you. So, I tell the guys, man, I tell the young guys, I tell the old guys, I tell anybody, listen, man, become a willing participant in these groups. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to your substance abuse, man. There's a lot of guys in here who are still using, still messing around, and their whole thought process is, so I'll stop when I get home. It's like, if you can't stop now, you're definitely not going to stop when you get home. You know, that's not going to happen. You got to start now, so that way it rolls over. You got some sense of direction, some foundation under your feet. So when you do touch down, when you do get out, you know what I mean, you've been sober for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but you know, you already had that sober mindset. You know, you can't keep using to the day or weeks or months before you get home and expect that you're going to go out there and stay clean and succeed. You know what I mean? I wish you all the best, but you know what I mean, if you want to be real about it and you want to talk the real, you know what I mean, you're going to fail, you're going to stumble. You know, it's not going to be as easy as you may think it is. You know, so yeah, man, I encourage you, you know, to everybody out there, if you got loved ones in prison, man, encourage them to get involved in these groups. You know what I mean, to take their change and their recovery seriously. Just don't go there for certificates and milestones and rat credit.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, thinking, oh, if I go to this class for 52 hours, I'm going to get 10 days off my sentence. Yeah, I mean, that's a reality. That's going to happen. But don't go in there with that mindset. You know what I mean? Go in there, you know what I mean? Let them seeds get planted, soak up with the knowledge, you know, especially what everybody in there's talking about. Listen, hear their experiences, and, you know, and soak it in, man, and just become better by it, you know? A lot of people think, you know, I was myself, I had the same thought process. Oh, I'm unique. You know, nobody knows what I've been through. Nobody knows who I am, what I'm going through. You know, but once I started to listen, once I started to pay attention to what was being spoken around me, it's like, you know, brown, black, white, Asian, no matter who it was, you know, it's like, man, this guy went through the same thing I went through. You know what I mean? He went through the same hood trauma. He feels the same hurt, the pain, everything that I went through, all the dysfunction, you know, and it's just like, you know, it's mind-blowing, you know, and you start to relate. You start to relate to the guys. You start to open up. You start to, you know what I mean, you start to let it in, so to speak. You know, you're no longer fighting it. You know, you start to let it in, and for me, you know what I mean, it was gradual. You know what I mean? And it's work, man. You know, all these groups have helped me be the person who I am today. You know, I am not perfect. You know, I'll be the first one to say that. I'm far from perfect. I don't try to be perfect. I just try to be better today than what I was yesterday. And yeah, you know, these groups are there, man. These rehabilitative groups, all these programs, all these outside organizations that come in and volunteer and you know what I mean, and share with us, you know, the knowledge, you know, what helped for them to get out. And because there's a lot of guys who have been down 20, 30 years and who are getting out of prison, who are coming back, you know, in prison to run these groups to help us out, man. And that's a blessing, you know what I mean? That is a blessing in itself, you know, because, you know, me personally, like, I can relate more to somebody who's been through it, who actually knows when he's speaking about it, and he's been there, he's been through it, he knows it, and he came out on the outside. Look, he's out. He's doing good. He's sober. He's living life. He's coming back in, volunteering his time to help me out, help us out. Like, man, that's a blessing.
And you know what? I want to mention something to you, Gary. I know recently you had some or your last two parole hearings. Obviously, you've had some setbacks, and you're still there.
Yeah.
But it shows a lot that you haven't run back to those vices, to cope, with what you're going through. So that does, I noticed it, and I recognize that you could have easily, you said, screw it, what am I doing all this for? And I could tell that you're not doing this, to please the parole board. You're doing it for yourself, for your well-being, and doing something like that for yourself. Absolutely. Is definitely gonna help you, when you come home. Cope with daily life, because when you come home, it's definitely going to be overwhelming. There's not going to be a walk in the park, from going to have to get your birth certificate and your social security card, and then going down to the DMV, getting a bank account, and setting up a cell phone, or even going down to your local Walmart. You're going to walk into Walmart, and there's going to be all kinds of people.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
It's going to be overpopulated.
I'm about to turn around and walk right out. So,
you
I'll wait in the car. Yeah.
So
Right.
being on that path, it's gonna
Yeah.
help cope with all your daily activities and figuring out where you're gonna live and things of that nature. So I want to go ahead and commend you
No,
for not falling
absolutely.
back on those on those or going down that path
I, I,
that's not gonna help you or benefit you in any way.
and it's easy too, bro. It's right there. It hasn't gone nowhere. You know what I mean? All that temptation, all that evil, it's still there. It's not like it disappeared. It's not like it just vanished right before my eyes. It's still there, bro. You know what I mean? It's still there. You
It,
know?
and Marlene
Right.
just put that they're not gonna take you to Walmart. They're gonna take you to Target. It's a lot calmer there. All right. So the call was cut off. Hopefully he's able to connect. So we'll be waiting here for him to uh to make that next phone call. But yeah, hopefully I definitely I'm rooting for Gary, and I'm rooting for a lot of these guys. They've given up a large portion of their youth and their lives to the California Department of Corrections. Due to being misguided, and I'm glad that I'm able to showcase and bring these gentlemen on, and they could share their stories, and hopefully they do impact at least one person. As long as they're able to help one person, all of this is definitely worth it. And there he is. Let me go ahead and connect that.
This call is now
This
being
is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Gary.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Gary.
Hello?
All right,
Yeah,
we're
I'm
we're
back.
we're, we're still on. Thank you for
Yeah.
calling us back. So
Yeah,
before we were
no
cut
problem.
off, Marlene was saying that they're gonna
Yeah.
take you to Target because it's a lot calmer there. So, uh,
Oh man, oh man, that's crazy. You're right. You're right, bro. It's gonna be intimidating. It's gonna be scary. You know what I mean? And but you know what? Like, I want to do it. It's like I want to do it. I want to go out there and I want to be a part of that, bro. It's like I want to be a part of that. Just to again, it's just like I've been in here. I've been in prison for 26 years. I only had 16 and a couple of months, 16 years and a couple of months out there amongst society, the real world, and there's days, where I get that feeling again, where it feels like to be out there amongst the world, and it's just like, I'm starting to hunger for it. I'm starting to crave it. It's just like, man, I need to come home, bro. You know, I know it's going to be a challenge. I know those things are going to be there, but man, I'm willing to face them, bro. Like, I want to face them. I want to go out there and I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? I want to be a part of it, and I'm blessed, man. I got that support network there that's it's just beyond it's just beyond measure. Like, man, they're great. They're there. They're willing, and it's just like, man, I'm so thankful, so blessed to have that. Because there's a lot of guys who don't have that, who get out and they don't have that. And it's just it's just like that fear just it multiplies for them. Because they don't have nobody. But I'm fortunate, very fortunate, to have that support network there, and I just thank them, truly thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, man.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
and how is it that you're able to maintain this contact with your family even before GTL? Because I'm assuming that they've been in contact with you since you started your journey from county jail. How is it that you're able to maintain, and how
Oh,
is it that you haven't burned bridges? Because a lot of the times, people that are incarcerated, they burn their bridges with their family. So how are you able to maintain?
no, I did. You see, I was one of those guys when I was, the first couple of years of my prison, I kept in contact, which was the letter writing. That was like the main source back then. Phone calls were expensive, hell of expensive. You know what I mean? You know, I believe a phone call back then was like $8 for a 15-minute phone call, of some outrageous price. So most of the time it was through letters, and then once the phone call started to come down, I would call people once a month, maybe twice a year, but this GTL right here has been a blessing. This GTL, and I get to the free phone calls, like, wow. I get to call my cousin, my sister, my mom, my Nina. I get to call people back to back if I wanted to, free of charge, and continue this conversation. Whereas before, that 15-minute phone call, because there's a guy right behind you waiting to call his people, until that 15-minute phone call, you really couldn't get in depth with things. You know what I mean? Like the conversation we're having right now, this would never have been possible without these tablets. So that's one good thing that I believe CDCR did, that they implemented. It's a great thing, because back then it was like the phone calls were more like superficial. It's like you couldn't get in depth. How you doing? What's up? You okay? Yes. You need anything? Everything's all right? That's how the conversation was for 15 minutes. And that 15 minutes went by so fast, it's just like, damn, it's up already. But I burned a lot of bridges with my family when I was deep into my addiction. A lot of people were upset with me, disappointed in me, and rightly so, because, the only thing on my mind was, was getting high. How can I get the money? How can I get something for you so I can get high, And, but gradually, since I've been on this road of recovery, my faith and my change, family members, came back into my life, and I'm grateful for that, I'm sober minded now, I'm living a sober lifestyle, I left all that BS behind, no longer participating in all that, criminal, that gang stuff, and I reconnected with a lot of families, and I'm gaining their trust back, and I didn't start by screaming it at the top of my lungs, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I just allowed them to see that on their own, to hear it in my voice, to ask them, oh, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going here, I'm going to this group, I'm going to NA tonight, and I wanted them to see that on their own, whereas me just telling them, oh, I'm sober, I've been doing this, I'm going to this group. No. I want them to become aware of it on their own, to see it, and that way they can be like, all right, and that's what I did. I've burnt many bridges over the years, but I'm grateful that I was given the opportunity to amend that. To make my amends to my family members, to my loved ones, and and get them back in my life, and get their support, and reconnect and build our relationship even stronger. Because that's what drugs do, man. Drugs, drugs, it's man. Drugs, destroy a lot of things, man. Not only do they destroy you, but they destroy relationships with, with your significant other, your kids, your family, with everybody. You become a recluse. You just want to be. You don't care about nothing else. You only have one thought: getting high. Where we allow, like in my case, I allowed that drug to cloud my better judgment, and seeing that my family love me, they care for me, they want me to get sober, they want the best for me, but I was just so clouded, so in the drug-induced coma that, I wasn't able to see that, I wasn't able to see that, but, I thank, by the grace of God, He put me in a position where, it's just like, you got to make a choice, I had to put on my big boy pants, so to speak, and, you got to make a choice, what do you want, you want to live? Or do you want to die? And And I chose life, man. I took that courageous step and said, you know what, I need help. I have a problem and I need help. So yeah. To answer your question, these tablets are a blessing. And I thank God that I was able to amend those relationships with my family members, and to gain my sobriety and my faith and my change and my recovery. I never thought this was possible. I never thought in a million years that I can honestly say that I'm going on 6 years sober willingly. You know what I mean? Like this is a choice that I'm making every day that I wake up and every day that I go to sleep. No matter what, I am not getting high today. No matter what, no matter the situations, no matter what I face, no matter my thoughts, my emotions, no matter. You know what? I am not getting high today. And I tell myself that every single day. You know what I mean? No matter what, I am not getting high today. You know, a lot of people you think it's a cliche, but you know what I mean. It works, man. You know what I mean. It works. And through my higher power, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know what I mean. He's giving me that strength. He's giving me that understanding. He's giving me that patience. He's giving me that. Just to keep moving forward. To keep moving forward. No matter what. Yeah, I'm gonna fall. Yes, I'm gonna fall down, but I'm gonna pick myself back up, dust myself off, and I'm gonna keep on pushing, one foot in front of the other. I like to say that to a lot of the guys in the groups, man. No matter what happens, man, just keep on putting one foot in front of the other and keep pushing.
And let me ask you, Gary. So let me take you back to 6 years
Yeah.
ago when you were, still
Yeah.
involved in those actions. What was that pivotal point? What happened that made you decide, like, this is it? Like, I'm not interested in doing these things. I want to change. What is it that would cause something like that?
Okay. When I first started my change, I went a whole year without using drugs. I was like, all right, I just say no, 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 no. And then I started to think, you know what? Man, I've been doing good for a year. You know what I mean? Getting high one time, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt, So that one time turned into like 3 months, And I was just like, damn, here I go again. You know what I mean? The one thing that I didn't want, the one thing that I was seeking help for, I'm back here again, So I started NA. It was January 5th, 2018. That's when I went to my first NA class. Got there. And I'm going. It was back then, it was every Thursday. I'm going. Thursday. You know what I mean? And I'm listening to you. I used to go in there and I was the guy who sat in the corner with his back against the wall, not saying nothing. You know what I mean? Just sitting there, just listening. I used to go high sometimes. But here I am listening. So January, February, March comes around. Been sober for about 20 days. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get high. You know what I mean? I'm going to get high today. Why? Because I want to get high. So I went, got some dope, came back, and I got high. You know what I mean? And here I am, and I was expecting, the euphoria of it. You know what I mean? The euphoria of it, the high. But that was the first time in my life since I started using drugs. I believe I was 12 years old when I first smoked my first pot, 11, 12. So from that time all the way to this moment, that was the first time that I felt shame. I felt guilt. I just felt this whole burden, this whole weight upon me, and I was like, you know what? This ain't for me no more. This is not for me no more. Because I wasn't high. I just had this shame that I was feeling, this guilt, like, man, this is wrong. And that was the first time I ever felt like that. And that's when I said, you know what? This ain't for me no more. And that's when, that was the pivotal moment for me right then and there, March 22nd, 2018. And a lot of guys don't remember the sober date, but I do. It was a Wednesday. And I remember it because, all those years you're getting high, partying, hanging out, and having a ball, having a blast. I never felt that other time before. I never felt that way before. But this time, and I believe I contributed to NA. Going and just sitting there listening, hearing the guys' stories, hearing how they gain their sobriety, hearing their stumbles, their relapses, and just hearing it, and I believe the seeds were planted in me, and it wasn't until that day, either the Lord put it on me, or I believe the Lord put it on my heart, put it on my mind to make me see that, to feel that, and that was the pivotal moment for me. That was the last time that I got high, ever.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The thoughts of using, they still pop up in my head from time to time. But now, I have what we call, coping skills and tools to use where, I'm not going to give in that easily. No, I'm not going to toy with the thought. I'm not going to give in to the thought. No, because I know, I've come to the realization that no matter what we're going through, no matter what we're feeling, no matter the pain, you know what I mean, that we may feel emotionally and physically, you know what I mean, drugs, no matter if it's illegal drugs or no matter if it's fucking prescription drugs, they are not going to fix the problem. They're not going to fix it. Yeah, they may make you feel good for a time being, but drugs ain't going to fix nothing. Period. They're not going to fix nothing. You know, so to answer your question, that was a pivotal moment for me.
Wow, wow. Well, you've definitely come a long way in those last 6 years. So, and you've been sober for the last
No,
6 years.
absolutely.
You haven't stumbled, or has there been some points where
Nothing. Haven't stumbled, haven't relapsed, nothing. March 22nd, 2018. You know what I mean? March 22nd, 2018. That was the last time that I used any substances. Any substances. And no, you know, I used to be like, oh, I'm not going to be proud. No, I'm proud of myself for that. You know, that's an accomplishment. You know what I mean? For the person who I was and how long I was at it, you know, and this is, you know, it's an accomplishment. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of myself for that. You know? But but here's the thing:
You have 60 seconds remaining.
a lot of guys in their recovery and their change, they get complacent. You know, no, you gotta stay an active participant in it, bro. You know what I mean? The day you don't feel like going to a meeting, you gotta go. The day you don't feel like going to a group or a class, you gotta get your ass up and you gotta go. You know, because this is a lifelong thing, bro. You know, because as many years we were using drugs, you know, you gotta fucking triple that. You know what I mean, in our sobriety, and you gotta keep at it. You gotta stay active, man. You gotta stay active in your sobriety. I'm a big believer in that.
All right, Gary, and then I know it's about to cut off. We got about 10 seconds before it cuts off. If you want to go ahead and
Yeah,
call us back, and
yeah.
then I'm gonna read up some comments that we got in here from your family. And
All right, cool, bro.
all right,
That'll
perfect.
work.
All right, cool.
That'll work.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll call you back. All right, brother.
All right, thank you. All right. So the calls automatically cut off. I think it's 15 minutes and like 25 seconds or 23 seconds. So from making all these calls and whatnot, I've kind of figured out when they automatically cut off. So I was keeping an eye out right now as soon as I hit that 60-second mark. And then I want to go ahead and I see El Iceman is in here. All right. And he's definitely been supporting since the beginning and doesn't go unrecognized. And then Marlene, I know you put a few messages in there. So right now, as soon as Gary calls back and we connect, I'll read those messages off to him. 'Cause, there we go.
This call is now being
This is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Gary.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and read off some of the
Hello?
messages.
Yeah.
I just don't want
All
anybody
right.
to think that I'm ignoring them. It's just sometimes, you get caught up
Yeah.
with the conversation and whatnot. And
Yeah. I gotta say we get caught up. Yeah.
so Marlene put on one of the messages. She put, "Scary times. Back in our day, we had weed. Now there's these pills unmarked and laced. Scary times. Yep." And then M Star Media put right.
Yeah, man.
Marlene. So
It's like none of the high school kids are smoking weed anymore. They're doing hard drugs, fentanyl, ecstasy, all kinds of. It's like what the hell happened? You know? Really?
and then M Star Media put, "That's awesome, Gary." Then Marlene put, "Gary has the black and yellow for the Steelers." That's right.
Hey. Yeah, I do like the Steelers. They are my football team. Hey.
So yeah, so I've been customized. I've been messing with the settings. I mean, I don't know if people like it or whatnot. I just started messing with it a few minutes before
Yeah.
we jumped on, just trying to mess with the settings
Yeah.
and try to have the letters and whatnot pop out. So I'll continue, evolving and making changes and seeing, what works as far as for the visuals.
Absolutely.
And then let me see,
Absolutely.
let me go on with the messages here. So then, Marlene put exactly that would be a trigger for a lot of recovering addicts. I guess earlier on when we were speaking and whatnot, um,
Oh yeah.
your message, you mentioned, like triggers and whatnot for people that are recovering. And then on the last message she put, "We love you. We got you always, regardless, unconditionally."
That's nice. Grateful, man. Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. It means a lot.
And I want to, earlier on, I wanted to touch on a subject that you mentioned. You were talking about the tablets and
Yeah.
how the
Oh yeah.
CDCR offers free phone calls now. Yeah, no, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Because if I would have started this podcast 3 years ago, it would have definitely been hitting my pocket with all these phone calls because they definitely add
No,
up.
absolutely.
I know within the last 2 years,
Absolutely.
they dropped and it was like cents. So it made it, a 15-minute phone call would be maybe like, I don't know, like 15 cents or 30 cents. It was something that was
Yes.
reasonable. But now it's even better now where,
Yep.
where they offer free phone calls. So definitely makes running this podcast a lot easier with it being free and not affecting my pocketbook. So
No, absolutely. That is one thing with CDCR. In the beginning, what I mean, that rehabilitation. They were tentative on it. I mean, they were slowing, the process. But but now, they made great strides in the rehabilitation effort for a lot of us in here. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for it. I really am. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for it. It's just like I tell guys, like, don't get too comfortable in here, man, because this ain't the place for us to be. We're supposed to be out there with our loved ones. We're supposed to be out there living life, man. So don't get too comfortable in here, man. Don't get fooled.
hey Gary, so Marlene just put a message
Yeah.
right now. She's asking, she's telling me
Yeah.
to ask you about the Xboxes. What Xboxes? Or what is she talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah. We were just notified a couple months ago that they approved us inmates in the state of California to have Xboxes in here. Coming soon to your prison near you. Yeah.
What? I haven't even heard about that.
Right.
That's definitely breaking
Yeah,
news right there.
Xboxes. Yeah. Yeah, I saw this memo on the wall. It was a couple months ago, and they're just working out the details. So yeah, it's coming soon to your prison near you. Xboxes. Inmates are going to allow to have Xboxes. That's what we're
And
talking about.
do
They've
you
been
know what
approved.
what version is
Right.
it gonna be? Is it gonna be like the newest model, or a
I
model
do
a model
know.
back, or
I don't know. It just said it stated that they've been approved and they're working out the details right now, writing up the rules and regulations to it. What we can have, what we can't have, the games, and all that stuff. So yes, but they've been approved. Now, I know. When they had that out-of-state program, and California was sending a lot of prisoners to out-of-state, in Arizona, Mississippi. They were allowed to have Xboxes over there in those states. So, and then they're saying back east, the prisons back east, they got Xboxes too. So now I guess California is getting on board with it and allowing us inmates to have Xboxes. So that's pretty cool.
man, imagine that. Yeah, like just being able to escape reality and jumping on and playing a football, Madden, or
No, no, absolutely, absolutely. Back in the day, your biggest things was your TV and the book. If you wanted to escape, or you wanted to do drugs. Drugs was another form of an escape. Those are probably like the only three things: you get lost in your TV, you get lost in the book, or you get lost in drugs.
man, all you're gonna need now is like a 50-inch TV or a 60-inch, and you guys will be.
uh,
I've seen some
this,
videos, some TikTok videos of some prison. I'm not exactly sure where they're located.
yeah,
Obviously, they're somewhere within the United States, but man, I'll see sometimes
yeah.
there'll be some inmates. They'll
This
be having
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
they'll have like some 50-inch
Yeah.
TVs. They're playing PS5 or Xbox. I'm like, man, like they're definitely
I
they
mean,
definitely treat them
I
differently.
mean, a couple of months ago, they did put big old TVs in the day room. I'm pretty sure they're probably 60-inch, maybe more in the day room. They took out the little the old TVs and they put a big old flat screen in the day room. So they got him out there. Mm.
So they're definitely trying to keep you guys,
Hello?
with the tablet, the TV, and on Xbox. They're definitely trying to keep you guys entertained, or
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, prison's changing, man. Prison has come a long way from when I first came in 98, June 16, 1998, when I first came to prison. I mean, and to now, wow, bro, it's like, I just trip out sometimes, when I think about it, when I think about the reality of the situation, this whole prison system, and it's just like, it's mind blowing to me. It's still unbelievable. Sometimes I even feel like when a cop walks by and I'm on my tablet, like, oh fuck, do I gotta hide it? Am I doing something wrong? I still get that feeling from time to time. We're just conditioned in a certain way, for so long. Especially these guys who've been down over 20 years. We're conditioned in certain ways, and to have these, and these things, it's like, man. I'm still trying to figure out this damn tablet, and it doesn't have that many functions, and I'm still trying to figure it out. It's crazy, man.
Hey, you know what? Amongst the prison population, have you ever heard them speaking about the Norway project?
Oh yes, yes, yeah. As a matter of fact, it was big news in here when it first came about, and I believe they're first going to do it in San Quentin. They're going to remodel San Quentin. They're changing that whole prison around, but it's going to start there, but eventually it's going to branch out to a lot of other prisons, and from my understanding, there's a lot of prisons that are doing their own thing behind that, adopting their own little models behind that, and that's great, right? It's like when I first heard about it, like that was great, but my only main concern it's like, if the officers of custody, the authority figures in here, especially the officers, the correctional officers, if they're not on board with it, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? If these officers, if these COs ain't on board with it, doesn't matter what the governor's trying to do. Doesn't matter what the politicians in Sacramento are trying to do. It's not going to work, because at the end of the day, they have the final say so in here. The correctional officers. They have the final say so. You got some great officers. I met a lot of great officers over the years who are for it, who are for groups. Classes, church. Guys, get out there, go, 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 go. Come on, go to class. But that's a slim majority of those officers. The majority of the guys, they got that old school mentality. You know what I mean? Lock them up. Fuck it. You guys ain't got shit coming. You know what I mean? You guys, you're just wasting our time, wasting everybody's time with this. They got that old school mentality, and I hope that the politicians, the governor, Sacramento, everybody sticks with this, because I believe, because I work, I have a job where I have to talk to officers on a daily basis. I have to communicate with them, I have to talk with them, I have to ask questions, I have to listen to them, I have to answer their questions, and to form a relationship like that with them, it's best for everybody. The line of communication is open. You or him ain't feeling a certain way. You guys are just, you're building trust amongst each other. Or he could depend on you, and you can depend on him if you need something to be done. And that's freaking great. I believe that form will work way better than, I'm the CEO, you do what I tell you, you listen to me, and whereas, this other is like, it's more on, they're seeing you more as a human being, no more as just another number, another guy in a blue suit, they're seeing you as a human being, and they're giving you that respect and that common courtesy as a human being, so, I'm all for it. I'm all for, what San Quentin's doing, what the governor's doing, everything he's implementing with that. Like, man, I'm for it, and let's do it. Let's try it out. Because as a person, as myself, who's been here for all these years, and it's like, your model, the way you guys are doing things, it's not working. It's not working. You tried it for all these years, for a multitude of years, and it's not working. So, if something doesn't work, right, it's just like, you got to fix it. You know what I mean? This system has been broken for many years, and I strongly believe we need to try something different. You need to try something new. You know what I mean? We'll see how that works. But again, if custody ain't for it. It's not going to work. You can have a lot of things on paper, but if you don't got the custody or you don't got the staff to implement that, it's just not going to work. It's just going to fall through the cracks like everything else.
And thank you for that, Gary. I want to read off a message from your carnal right here. He put, "What up, carnal?
Yeah.
Me and mom just want to send our love. Want to send you love, their love, your way or strong way. And did I hear
Yeah.
Steelers?
Yeah.
Chow, Steelers 24/7.
Yeah.
And if you ain't steel, you ain't real. Haha. Much love."
Yeah, that's my brother. That's my brother. He was still a fan too.
There it is.
A lot of my family members are Steeler fans. Even Pomona Queen is still a fan. All right. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm honestly looking forward to this new Norwegian thing that they're trying to do. Like, man, I hope it succeeds, and God willing, it branches out to the multitude of prisons. You know what I mean? Man, because man, I just, there's a lot of guys in here, right? That you can see it. You know what I mean? That especially guys on this side, right? It's like, this on this side, coming SNY, leaving all that stuff behind. Like, a lot of people get the misconception about these types of prisons. It's like, man, no, there's a lot of guys here who are trying to change, who are trying to go home and want to do better. And to have that there, to have that type of instant.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And to have that type of installation there for guys, who want to do that, it's a great thing, man. It's a great thing, to have that type of hub where, I'm going to go to this prison and I'm going to get rehabilitated. I'm going to earn a trade. I'm going to make a career of what they're teaching me. And it's just like, it's great, man. I encourage, more people to get at it. It's like people out there who are listening. You got family members that are in prison. Encourage them to get involved, man, to get proactive, for themselves, not only for their loved ones, for their family, but more importantly,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
if you do it, like I'm a big believer, like if you do it for yourself, like if you truly do it for yourself, it's going to reflect outwards to your loved ones, to everybody you love, man, your significant other, your wife, your mom, your kids. They're going to benefit from it, but you got to do it, though. You got to do it. You got to get up and you got to get at it.
Hey, Gary. Well, I know
Hello?
she's about to cut us
Yeah.
off right now. And right now,
Yeah.
I got another call coming up shortly. So I'm going to take a small
problem.
little break. But
Yeah.
but before I do that, I want to go ahead and thank you for coming on and, sharing part of your journey and whatnot. But definitely, if you want to jump on tomorrow, I got time for you. Just let me know what time you want to jump on.
All
I'll
right.
let you know if it works. And we'll definitely bring you back on tomorrow so you could go ahead and share some more of that, your journey.
Absolutely,
with us.
bro. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for everything, bro. I appreciate it. You go ahead and have a good night.
All right, you as well. And then I also want to thank the oh, it cut off. So I want to definitely thank you guys that are listening. And greatly appreciate if you guys could come back for the next one. We got Silas coming on. So as soon as I'm gonna speak to him, as soon as we speak, then I'll go ahead and run another stream. And for now, this will be it for right now. And you guys go ahead and have a good